Hello and welcome back to Purple in Peril, a Warlock life. This is level 29. We've just finished with the storm horns. I deliberately didn't put any of that content in here because last life I did a guide using purple to that chain. So I'll link that in the description if any of you are interested. The build was very similar to how it is now. I thought it performed pretty admirably in there, in content that's swarmed some of my other characters in the past, especially that one with the army camp and everything knocking you down all over the place. This celestial spirit is very good for avoiding such a fate because it stops you from being knocked down by most things, so that's nice. I thought for this one we could try something a little bit different. There's a possibility of going in the Necro chain, which is Epic 29, Necro 4 in the Orchard of the Macabre. Probably better going in there with a group, especially if it's your first time, because some of the quests have pretty anti-solo mechanics. There's one in which you need to kill two things at more or less the same time to progress, and another where you need to hit I think it's 5 runes at more or less the same time to complete the quest. So yeah, best done at least with a friend if you can. The Necro 4, some big XP to be made in there. I thought we might show something a bit different today. We're sitting here on the bridge at the bottom of Eveningstar. That's the Eveningstar Cavern ahead. Now, the fastest way of leveling in a group in Epic is using these Slayer areas and having a full group. That's I don't think that's really open to debate. I've seen people take 3 or 4 levels in maybe an hour or two, if that, using the XP boosts and Slayer boosts and that kind of stuff. That's not really my cup of tea. I've done it once with a fellow member of the Bear Party, and obviously we went quite slowly because there were only 2 of us. It was fun, but it's not something I would do too often. So what can you do instead if you fancy something a bit different from questing? Well, there are these Eveningstar Challenges. There are 2 in the cavern itself, and if we look on the map marked by these blue stars, there are 2 there, this ruined keep, and 2 here, which is the Grove of the Great Tree, I think they're called. All different in their own way. The way they're it's just basically 3 challenges, and each one has sort of 2 different variations. I think this one with the trees, there's one that lasts 5 minutes and one that lasts 10, and there's a slight variation on how it's set out. In this, you've got the daybreak ritual and the sunset ritual, but the meat of the challenge remains the same. Protect the NPC from harm and fulfill several optional objectives. And then the 2 in the cavern, which I'm going to show one of, it's like a gladiator arena. Survive for as long as you can, and ideally to the end. So they're just down here and to the left. One is an Underdark themed one, and the other one is fire themed. I can't ask you which one you'd prefer to see because things, but I can say that, as is common with all of these things, if you want the ingredients can be turned in at one of the Eveningstar vendors for, I think it's level 24 Cormyrian weapons, which if you don't want to make use of them, you can feed them to sentient weapons. I was going to say running 5 levels above your level is the best way for max ingredients. We obviously can't do that. and running the highest level that you can is the best way for max experience, so we're going to go in on 30. I'll go with the fire one. So the challenge only starts when you go and ring the gong in the center of the arena, and the gong is kind of a central theme in these, because you use it later on to summon champions when the DM text suggests there's a champion available to fight.
Above, a huge red dragon calls out to you as you enter the arena.
What are these tiny specks who have entered? Well, now, what's this? They've accepted the challenge. They may
First
be small,
couple of waves
and stink of humans, but let's give them a chance anyway. Seal the arena.
are pretty straightforward. Just little bits and pieces come at you, and it's over fairly quickly. It's from wave 3 that the thing begins to get quite interesting. You get champions popping up, and the level of the opponents ramps up. It's just something a bit different from the normal questing, or if you've run out of first time quests to do at your level. So the Underdark one is very similar to this. Surviving through the waves in the arena. The ones with the tree, you've basically got to protect the great tree in the middle from waves of enemies spawning. And the daybreak and sunset ritual, you've got to protect an NPC. Now the tree and the NPC can get a little bit tricky if you're playing on your own, because you can only obviously be in one place at once. Especially in the case of the daybreak and night ritual, protect the NPC one. To get the maximum stars for the biggest XP bonus, you will need at some stage to go away from the central area where the NPC is. And that means risking him being mauled by the hungry hordes as they attack in your absence. So that takes a bit of practice. This one less so, so maybe I was playing it safe by showing this one. Or maybe giving myself an excuse to waffle more. Okay, so now, as you can see straight away, we've got a champion popped up there. I think you can see the level of the opponents has ramped up a little bit. And a gong should have appeared in one of the corners. Oh, maybe the gong only appears when you can actually summon one. I think we survive for a bit longer, and the gong will appear in one of these four corners. Okay, so we've got the gong over there. We're going straight for it because it is a time thing, this, and if you run out of time you can't get the best XP for completing all the objectives. So as soon as the gong appears, it's a good idea to hit it, unless you are really in a tough situation at the time. Unfortunately, the witch didn't appear in the middle of all that, so we've got to go and do her separately. Should really put the single target on for her, shouldn't I? You can see the stars racking up now. I think you get one for surviving and completing at the end, and one for each champion. Certainly going to miss this evergreen when we get to the cap. Okay, so gong again. Now the wizard one, he puts a chest in each corner, and you've got to find the chest that isn't a mimic. There's an easy way to do that. If these things would leave me alone. Just right click on it to highlight it. Hang on. That's it, isn't it? Yeah. If you right click and you highlight it and it's got no creature level, then that's the chest you're looking for. If it, I'll show you in some of the other corners once we've done this. So you can open the... Oh, hang on. No. Oh, it was a spell ward I was looking... if it's got a creature level, it's a mimic, and don't open it. But I don't think that one did, so I think we can safely open that. Yeah. So let's show you...
happy that you solved his puzzle. You should watch out for his pets. They'll likely be defending the corners of the arena.
Try and stay away from the mimics if you can. Yeah, you can see their chest CR35, so it's telling you that's a mimic. They're quite difficult to take down, those things, and they put you an acid damage over time, so... If you can stay out of the way of them, it's probably best to do so. So we're just waiting now for the next challenge.
I summoned a furious spirit of fire and earth.
Okay.
Do you have the courage to face it? Then ring the gong.
Now that's a mimic in the corner, and it's obviously going to come active as soon as I go near it. You can't really avoid that, you just have to...
You accepted the challenge of the elemental.
Oh, here we go. So if you make it that far, he challenges you himself and you go into the middle and ring the gong.
You accepted the dragon's
Now for the
challenge.
dragon, you can go onto one of the sort of island areas and range him from a position of reasonable safety if you have a squishier character that wouldn't really like to stand next to him. Let's see if we can demonstrate that. So we could use our focused blast, as I think it's called, to do that reasonably well. In fact, this might be the optimal strategy for this character, rather than being close. Put the 2 AoEs down and just blast away. Yeah, I think that's going to do the job just nicely. Use the spell-like abilities. Perfect. Now we come to the only slight downside of this this particular challenge as I see it. You can see we've finished to all intents and purposes, but there are still 4 minutes left on the clock. So unfortunately you have to see that through. If you're struggling a bit more to complete the challenge, the extra time will come in handy. So I guess it's a way of balancing things up. But we just unfortunately you have to sit through 3 or 4 minutes of my waffle now. Or I could do the decent thing and end the recording here. I was wondering how to bring the series to an end. It's been a lot of fun, and thanks to those of you who left me some nice feedback. I was thinking when we get to 30, obviously, I think I'll run a quest anyway, maybe on a lower Reaper, because purple against an end boss with the end setup would be like watching paint dry. It would take forever. But I'll show you the gear, I'll run a quest, and I have 1 or 2 clips from his last life, 1 or 2 quests we've recorded, so I could link to some content with him in sort of middle Reaper Legendary with 1 or 2 other members of the group, so you can kind of see how the build plays. I think I've got something of him in Reaper 6, and he did reasonably well. I don't know how he would go on against a Doom Reaper. Obviously there is the what I call the oh shit button in here for a Doom Reaper. Gain 10,000 temporary hit points, so that would be very good, but that's then on a 5-minute cooldown, so it's not a solution for every time. I could probably literally just sit here now and let the things mess about around me, which is what I might do. I think I'm going to save you good folks from watching any more of this. I don't see any reason for us to go to it'll just go to the end, reward us our experience, and that'll be it. And I think that'll be it for this particular episode. Did I show you the... I don't think I showed you the epic destinies, did I? No, I probably didn't. So we've gone all the way in there for the spell power, but I have also made my way gradually in the Sentinel. We've got the fortification, which is nice, the renewal. I tried a couple of points in here. Shield's AC contribution increased, but the difference honestly was very minimal. I think, were we at 91 before and 95 now with 30% extra from the shield? So as points are going to be quite scarce for allocating in this tree, because of what I want to spend in Draconic and Primal. I think we're going to have maybe 36 in here, where I could easily spend 40 plus if I took everything I really wanted. So I think those 3 in the shield thing might have to go, and probably one or two other things that a tanky build would, as a matter of course, take. I'll of course discuss all that when we reach the 30 in the next episode.
The clash of a gong
And I guess
echoes
congratulations are in order, because I've successfully waffled my way to the end of those 4 minutes. Do I win a prize?
The supreme champion of the arena.
I didn't see how much XP we were given there. What was it, 98,000? So around 100,000. So that's not bad at all for what, did it say, 15 minutes? Not an amazing return, but just if you wanted something a little bit different, maybe you could have a go at one or two of those. Don't repeat them. Run them once only alive, because the XP, if you repeat, is massively lower. So just once alive. Okay, I think we will leave it there. So from the Eveningstar Cavern and Waterfall, we will bid you good day, and we will see you again at the cap. Thanks very much for looking, and take care.